Imagine this. It's Christmas Eve, 1945. The Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia, is filled with the warmth and excitement of the holidays. 10 children, ranging from 2 to 14, are tucked into their beds, dreaming of the morning to come. But just after midnight, their world is shattered. A fire, swift and merciless, engulfs their house, forcing the parents, George and Jenny Sodder, and 4 of their children to flee into the cold night air. 5 of their children, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, are trapped upstairs. But what happened next would spark one of America's most haunting and enduring mysteries. George Sodder, in a desperate panic, raced to save his children. He ran to grab his ladder, which he always kept propped against the side of the house. But it was gone, mysteriously moved to an embankment over 50 feet away. He then tried to start his trucks to pull them up to the windows, but neither would start. Despite working perfectly just the day before, the phone line was dead. A neighbor's attempt to call the fire department from a nearby tavern failed because the operator couldn't be reached. By the time the fire department finally arrived the next morning, 7 hours after the blaze started, the Sodder home was nothing but a smoldering pile of ash in the basement. The official verdict came swiftly. The 5 children had tragically perished in the fire. The cause was ruled as faulty wiring, but for George and Jenny Sodder, this explanation felt deeply wrong. They were consumed by questions that just didn't add up. Why were no remains, no bones, no teeth ever found in the ashes? A local crematorium operator told them that even in a 2-hour, 2,000-degree fire, human bones would remain. The Sodder house fire, intense as it was, lasted only about 45 minutes. How could 5 children vanish without a single trace? This was the question that would launch a lifelong, heartbreaking search for the truth. The parents' conviction that their children were alive grew stronger as strange events from before and during the fire came into focus. A few months prior, a stranger had come to the house looking for work and pointed out that the fuse boxes were a fire hazard, something George found odd since he'd just had the house completely rewired. Then, just before Christmas, another man threatened George, making angry remarks about his outspoken anti-Mussolini views, common in their Italian-American community. The man had warned him, "Your house is going to go up in smoke, and your children are going to be destroyed." The night of the fire, Jenny had been woken by a strange phone call around midnight from a woman she didn't know, asking for a name she didn't recognize, followed by the sound of laughter. Shortly after, she heard a loud thud on the roof, and then the smell of smoke. Fueled by these suspicions, the Sodders refused to accept the official story. They began their own investigation, a relentless quest for answers that would span the rest of their lives. They hired a private investigator who discovered that the insurance salesman who had threatened George was actually on the coroner's jury that ruled the fire an accident. The investigator also unearthed a shocking confession from a Fayetteville minister who claimed the fire chief, F.J. Morris, had admitted to finding a heart in the ashes, which he secretly buried in a box. When the box was later exhumed at the Sodders' insistence, it contained a fresh beef liver, untouched by fire. It felt like a cruel, deliberate deception. The most tantalizing and tortuous clues came in the form of alleged sightings. A woman who ran a tourist stop claimed to have seen the children in a car that sped by. As the house was burning, she said she served them breakfast at a motel about 50 miles west of Fayetteville the next morning. Another woman in Charleston claimed she saw 4 of the 5 children in a car, with 2 women and a man, all of Italian extraction, about a week after the fire. These sightings, though never confirmed, painted a chilling picture: kidnapping. The Sodders began to believe their children had been taken, possibly by the local mafia, as retaliation for George's vocal criticism of Italy's fascist government. In 1952, hoping to generate new leads, the Sodders took a dramatic step. They erected a large billboard on Route 16, just outside of Fayetteville. It featured the photos of their 5 missing children, offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to their recovery, a reward they later doubled. For the next 37 years, that billboard stood as a public testament to a family's undying hope and a parent's refusal to give up. It became a local landmark, a constant, silent plea for answers that captivated the hearts of people across the country. The billboard kept the story alive, ensuring their children would never be forgotten. Perhaps the most compelling and mysterious piece of evidence arrived more than 20 years after the fire. In 1968, Jenny Sodder received an envelope in the mail, postmarked from Kentucky, with no return address. Inside was a photograph of a young man in his late 20s. He had dark, curly hair and dark eyes. On the back of the photo, a cryptic message was handwritten: Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie. Ill boys, a 90132 or 35. The resemblance to their son Louis, who would have been in his late 20s, was uncanny. The family was convinced it was him. They hired another private investigator to look into the lead, but he took their money and disappeared without a trace, leaving them more heartbroken than ever. The photo of the man believed to be Louis was added to the billboard, a new face of hope in a decades-long mystery. But it was the last significant clue the family would ever receive. George Sodder passed away in 1969, never knowing what happened to his children. Jenny continued the search, wearing black in mourning for the rest of her life until her death in 1989. After her passing, the remaining Sodder children and grandchildren took down the weathered billboard. The family had spent a fortune, followed every lead, and exhausted every possibility. But the fate of Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty remained a mystery. To this day, the case of the Sodder children is officially unsolved. Was it a tragic accident? A case of faulty wiring that consumed a house so completely that it vaporized 5 children without a trace? Or was it something far more sinister? A meticulously planned arson and kidnapping orchestrated by powerful enemies, with a cover-up that involved local officials? The missing ladder, the disabled trucks, the dead phone line, the beef liver in the box, the sightings, and the mysterious photograph of Louis Saul, these pieces form a puzzle that has baffled investigators and captivated the public for over 75 years. The surviving Sodder children continued the search for their siblings for as long as they lived, passing the torch to the next generation. The story serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring strength of familial love and the haunting nature of unanswered questions. What do you think happened on that cold Christmas Eve in 1945? Was it a tragic fire or a crime that has gone unpunished for nearly a century? Let us know your theories in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining us to explore this incredible mystery. If you found this story as compelling as we do, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's most fascinating unsolved cases. We appreciate your support. See you next time.